The Director General of the International Labour Organization says the choices politicians make regarding investment in child protection policies may make or mar the future of African children in the next decade. The ILO Director General was speaking as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark the 2022 World Day Against Child Labour.
Rocks and more rocks surround the 8-year-old Saadatu. Saadatu isn't playing or catching fun like her peers probably would elsewhere. She is actually working for pay. This child is not alone in what the International Labour Organization, ILO, describes as worst forms of child labour.
Despite significant advances in some regions, global progress has stalled, in particular amongst children between 5 and 11 years old.
So it's quite a serious human rights violation. And I think it's first important to clarify that we're not talking about household chores. We're not talking about children helping around the house, doing odd jobs in their spare time outside of school hours.
The International Labour Organization and World Poverty Clock, WPC, in recent reports link such activities by children to crass poverty, poor remuneration of parents, and deep corruption.
So oftentimes we may have an incorrect perception that child labor, behind every child laborer is a bad employer, a businessman who's got those children in chains. In fact, the truth is that over 2/3 of child labor happens in the family context.
The theme of this year's event is universal social protection to end child labor. But in countries like Nigeria, huge gaps exist in social protection policies implementation.
Policymakers need to create social protection systems that reach all children, and in particular those more vulnerable to child labour.
While the ILO calls for more investment in social protection and schemes to establish solid social floors to protect children from child labour, the likes of Saadatu and her peers in Nigeria may have to wait for longer than expected, as political leaders have consistently exhibited lack of political will to implement child protection programs. Even the Child Rights Act is yet to be domesticated in more than half of Nigeria's 36 states.
It's a national issue. If we don't deal with it, it will haunt us as a country.
The choices that governments make now will make or break the lives of millions of children, today and in the future.
While child rights advocacy thickens globally, hopes are also expected to rise for incoming politicians in 2023 general elections in Nigeria to have a change of attitude. But until that is done, the road seems long for the likes of 8-year-old Saadatu, who only have their poor parents on this tortuous journey to adulthood. Abulu Osemahu,